I think there's an interesting question also about the legal definition of insanity and the medical definition of insanity and the way that those two don't always align, and how both of them align with the sort of more common use of the idea of crazy. You know, the question, I don't know, is anyone who does something like a mass shooting crazy to have done it? Certainly their thinking seems distorted and foreign to us. I think we assign those people a status as suffering from mental illnesses as a means of reassuring ourselves that normal people aren't capable of acts of terrible evil. And I think we've seen over and over again in context from Rwanda to Nazi Germany and so on and so forth, that actually quite a lot of people, when social constraints are removed, are capable of acts that are terribly evil and disturbing. And I think how we define any form of coherence in these diagnoses is really significant. So, you know, is Evel Knievel crazy, or was he crazy? You know, was my great aunt Beatrice crazy not to marry that judge my grandmother thought she should have married? You know, there's a sense that people are somewhat irrational, and it comes back, I think, in some ways to the spectrum of experience we're looking at. In the case specifically of Sandy Hook, it seems clear that Adam Lanza had some form of autism, or he had been diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, but he also appears to have had psychopathy. And is psychopathy a mental illness? And is there a relationship between the autism and the psychopathy? And are the deficits in cognitive empathy that are characteristic of autism, in which people are not able to process the complex manifestations of emotion in other people, related to the emotional lack of empathy that is characteristic of psychopaths? I mean, I think this is all very murky territory. I do think, though, that as Kay has said, we should consider not only the danger that people with mental illnesses pose to others, but also the enormous danger that they pose to themselves, and recognize that as an equal tragedy.